Okay, now here's the software portion of the video explaining how you could remap all these buttons and tell it what to map these buttons to. If you want to remap it, say this one to your A button, just like it just did, it went into My Games and Apps. So this is the new dashboard, and on the new dashboard will have in your apps section something called Xbox Accessories. Now you want to click that and connect the controller to get started. It'll say that, and it will pop up the controller that you're using. I'm not sure if it's going to show the like limited edition controller schemes or anything like that, but it shows up that I have a Elite controller. If you have a regular Xbox controller, it's going to show that one. So you have a configure and more options, and right now it's showing my actual controller configuration right now. So if I switch it to number 2, it'll show that scheme. As you can see, I haven't really done anything on number 2, but when I switch it to number 1, I have changed some things on my sticks, and I'll explain that a little bit later. Now you have configure and more options. You could go to name the controller and explore the controller. We'll go into explore, and this pretty much explains everything about the Elite wireless controller. Pretty simple stuff. I'll let y'all like pause it. Gonna be a quick pause that you have to do, but yeah. Then you can name the controller, give it a name. I haven't named it yet. Now in the configurations, you have your save ones that you could save on this. When you flick that switch to 1 and 2, you could set it up right here. And then down here you have some pre-configured ones. This one's made from Xbox and by Xbox. You have some for Forza Motorsport 6. You have the manual, and then you have manual with clutch. As you can see there, it changes the paddle shifters. The Gears of War alternate, just pretty much changing the paddle shifters here. I'll just let you look at each one here if you want to pause. I also have Sunset Overdrive, which is kind of cool. Love that game. And let's take a look at my configuration. So as you can see here, this is what you see. You have button mapping, sticks, triggers, and vibration. You could change it to a different save slot, which is the 1 and 2. And then you could rename the configuration, copy it, and delete it. Now we'll go to button mapping. And right here is where you'll map all your buttons except for your guide and menu buttons, or back and start, however you want to say it. That's the only ones you can't change. So for this part, you want to say like controller button. This is where you want to send that certain button to. So say you want the A button to go to the paddle shifter. Well, you have to go down here to the paddle right, upper right paddle, and then map to A. So say, like for instance, A is jump. So I kind of want to put that where I could hit it quickly, and I find the upper one, the right paddle, to be the best for me since I am right-handed, and it's a lot quicker for me to hit since it's a lot higher. So that's where I put my A button at. And you could also change all these as well, even your D-pad, which is pretty cool. And you could unmap it if you wish. For sticks, triggers, and vibration, left stick, right stick, you have triggers, vibration, Xbox button brightness, swap sticks, invert right stick y-axis, invert left stick y-axis, and swap the triggers. Now we'll go to left stick. I've actually made changes already, and you use the D-pad to choose a sensitivity curve, then move the stick to see it in action. The default is shown in white, your chosen curve in color. So as you can see there on the white area is the default, and then right here that red area is the aggressive. So it's kind of going a little bit further than the default, except for like right here. I'm noticing like the cross areas, it's a little bit like the same. So let's set it to default. As you can see, it's, you know, it's all matched up. But then when you go to delay, you can tell it doesn't go quite as fast when it like starts up. As you can see right there, the default speed will go hit a lot faster to the edge, and the delay kind of doesn't. It kind of catches up like at a certain point, like right there. It just kind of shoots at that section. And then on aggressive, as you can see, it's going way past the default. I find this to be a lot better for my left stick. This is what I use. And then you have instant, and that, look at that. I'm just barely tapping it and it's shooting to the left like hardcore. I'm not really like hitting it all the way. I'm just like barely like moving it. See that? I'm just barely moving it. This is all the way, and then yeah, I'm just barely moving it. And then they're smooth. So you see there, it catches up at certain moments, and then it'll catch up at the end. It's a little strange one. I actually use it for my right stick, but yeah, I actually use these settings and I think they work pretty well. I'm gonna see what I use for the right stick, and yeah, I use smooth because you're usually aiming with this stick. I play a lot of first-person shooters, and I think this works the best for me, especially since I'm using the longer sticks. Now here's the triggers portion. I never really use this. I never seen a reason to. I'm pretty okay with just flicking the switch to having the hair trigger, so it doesn't have to go as deep. But yeah, it's pretty much, I think, just to increase like your sensitivity with the trigger. That's pretty much all it is. But yeah, or if you just feel it's not just as sensitive enough, that's pretty much what I believe is going on here. So I'm not really the best at this, and I just got out of here by accident. Let's go back. Now you have your vibration. You could adjust the vibration from the actual two rumbles in the controller and on the two triggers, because you have rumble triggers in your Xbox controllers, which is really cool. I just have it on default. I'm okay with the vibration. Now here's the Xbox button brightness. If I set it all the way low to here, and then go back, you can see it kind of dimmed a little bit. It's kind of hard to see, but it did dim. So let me push it all the way up. Maybe you could tell a little bit better what's going on. And you could tell it pretty much lit up. So that's really cool. And now down here is pretty much like inverted stuff where you could swap the sticks. You could make the left stick the right stick, or the right stick the left stick. Invert the right stick y-axis, invert the left stick y-axis. Good for those left-handers. Yeah, these are unfortunately settings that are not in every game. Now that you have this button mapping system, it will be available to you in every game. That is really cool. Swap the triggers as well. So this is indeed a very big thing to do. I believe some of this stuff is available for all controllers. So it's not just the Xbox Elite controller. This will be available in the Xbox Stop Listening, in the new Xbox dashboard. So the only thing that I see that may or may not be in the regular button mapping would of course be the paddle shifters, and of course your configuration. Everything else seems to be like it will be available on your regular Xbox controller. So that was just the second part of this video, just explaining the software. And the software is pretty solid. I'm very happy with what they provided. It's a really nice thing that they're actually offering the button mapping to all Xbox controllers instead of just the Xbox Elite itself. Of course, you're not going to be able to map the paddle shifters on maybe like a third-party controller, because there are other companies besides Scruff that offer paddle shifters, but of course the Xbox app is not going to be able to make those remappable at all, just for the Elite. So you're not going to be able to make function of that unless you have an Xbox Elite controller. So please stay tuned for part 3 of my review. It's pretty much my final thoughts on the controller and how it compares to other controllers. So yeah, please watch that, and thank you for watching.
If you enjoyed that video, please be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. You have 5 seconds to comply. 4, 3, 2, 1.